Hi crafty friends, it's Nancy here again. I am here playing along with the current challenge at AAA Cards. It's challenge 234 and we're playing with circles this week. The challenge is just opening today, so you got a full 2 weeks to play along if you'd like to. I've decided to play with some ink blending today. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if this ends up being my card or not for this challenge. Trying to keep it clean and simple because AAA Cards is a clean and simple challenge, which is really my jam. It's what I actually really love to create. So I have cut myself a panel here that is 4 inches by 5¼ and I've grabbed this stencil from a Colorful Life Designs. It's called Merry Dots, and I'm kind of envisioning kind of like a corner of circles over here. So I've got some mint tape with me here, and you can see I've got some colors that I think I'm going to use. I'm going to just decide how much space I want to cover. There are some people who believe about 1/3 of a card front is all you should cover for a clean and simple card, so we'll see what we can do with that. We're just going to tape that down there. And I think since I'm using the daubers, I don't need to tape off my edge, but I've got the tape handy in case we need it. So let's start with some Twisted Citron and a little sponge dauber here. And we'll just get some ink, and I'm just gonna kind of randomly be placing with a pretty light hand. I don't want this to be too dark. I want it to be pretty subtle because that's just kind of what's in my head for this. A little bit here, a little bit there. Can always flip up and see how things are coming along. It might need to be a little bit darker in some areas here just to, oh shoot, so we get the definition. Now, and here we are with real life crafting. My tape did not hold. So this right here, my friends, is why cardstock is double-sided. So let's try this again, get things lined up again, and we're going to use some more tape just to keep things in place. And maybe I'll put that there and this here as well, and just see if we can keep things in place a little bit better. So let's try this again. A little bit more ink in some random spots here. I think that's looking not so bad. This color combination, the Twisted Citron and the Salty Ocean, is my favorite color combination with the Tim Holtz inks. I absolutely love these two colors together. I just think they're so pretty next to each other. As you can see, I'm overlapping my color just a titch here and there. Kind of creating that aquamarine color then too, not just green and blue. And let's go back with the green just one more time, darken it up a little bit to match the green a bit more. I mean, match the blue. The blue ended up being a little darker than I'd planned. And close up the inks. Just push them out of the way a little bit. And now let's see. I want to kind of see how this ended up looking. So you can see there, that's pretty soft and subtle. I think I like that. Just gonna leave my stencil here in place because I'm not sure yet. I have 2 different ideas of what I want to do, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work. So let's pull this up for now. Get the tape off of here. This is another reason I like tweezers, is with these fake nails, getting tape can be difficult. You can see here I made a bit of a boo-boo with some ink. So I've got my mono sand eraser here, and if I just kind of go in with some good pressure, not terribly, don't want to rip the cardstock, and just do a couple different directions, you can see that I got that oopsie mostly out of there, which is kind of what I'd hoped to do. Now I want to kind of stamp just right on this. I'm kind of making, it could be technically a 1-layer card had I made this just a card, like a folded card. but I didn't. So I want to grab one of these. I really like some of the sayings on this. Like, I hope that, actually, you know what? I hope this day sparkles is the one I want to use today, because I have a plan. So we're just going to grab my Misty out again and line this up where I want it. Make sure it's kind of centered and straight. Close the door to pick up that stamp. And inking it up over here. Again, VersaFine Clair Nocturne, my favorite ink. I don't use it if I'm going to be using Copics because it's not Copic safe, but anything else I do, that's the ink I grab for. So I'll get that out of here. I'll clean that stamp later. And now I think I want to, oops, wrong way, this way. I want to use some glitter paste, I think, just to add a little bit of interest. And I couldn't do it before because I wouldn't have been able to stamp on top of it. So we're gonna just adhere that down. And I absolutely love this Nuvo Glimmer Paste. This is the Moonstone color, so it's pretty much just a clear sparkle with a bit of a yellowy green undertone to it. I use this a lot. Like, I don't use a lot of pastes at all, but this one I've used a lot. I think this is like my 5th or 6th jar of it over the years. So I'm just gonna, actually, before I go too much further, let's tape off my edge here because I do not want to get glitter where I don't want it. And just be careful in that corner. Don't really care about what's underneath, it's just the card front I don't want to get covered in glitter. I like to put on more than I need, and then I just give it a good scrape off. And as you can see, the stuff underneath here has turned color because of the ink that I used. So the top stuff is clear, so we'll get that back in the jar as best we can. I've got a little bit there. And now I'm going to grab a paper towel and just clean this off a little bit. I will be going up and washing these as soon as I'm done here because the glitter paste will dry and make a mess, so especially of my stencil. I like to get this stuff closed up right away. I don't know how quickly it will dry in there, but I don't want to take the chance of losing it. And then we carefully peel up the stencil and take the tape off. And it looks like I got a little bit where I didn't want it. Let's see if we can get rid of it. We're just going to set that aside for a minute and clean up my work surface a little. I could probably pull out my splat mat or something like that to work on with the paste and have a quick and easy way to clean up, but I never do. I know it's terrible, but I never do pull that out and clean it up. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's clean my stamp. I like to use, I've got some stamp cleaner in my spray bottle. The spray bottle that came in kind of got gummed up, so I just bought another one from the dollar store. And I use an old rag, and I like to just give it a good scrub. I like the little bit of terry cloth to this, like the little bit of extra fiber, because I find it gets into the nooks and crannies pretty good. Sometimes it will leave some residue behind, so I just go back in with my finger and some more spray and get that off of there. The nice thing about the red is you can actually see it, so if you did leave any fibers behind, you can you can get that out of there pretty quickly and easily. I don't know that you saw any of that though, my apologies. So let's just tuck this away. I am a clean as you go stamper, so the last couple of videos I've just been putting things aside and then cleaning up after I've done the card, and it's truly not how I create. I actually use a stamp, clean it, put it away unless I plan on using it again, or I at least do it this much and then put the stamp set aside if I need to write down what items I used. Same with the inks. I would probably have these put away already. Just I don't like having a cluttered workspace. It doesn't work for me. But I will leave things a little bit cluttered for now. Now this is not dry, but I think for what I need it to do, I think I should be able to move on. So we're just gonna put it over to the side a little bit so I don't inadvertently mess it up. I'm gonna use my Score Buddy again. I like to put a little bit of my natural oils from my finger along that 5.5 inch mark. It just helps this stylus tool work better. Yeah, I could be using this and I wouldn't need to do that. I like the stylus tool better. I find I get a better score line. As always, you're gonna flip it over so that your score line is on the outside. Fold your card and burnish that however you can. I like these Teflon bone folders myself. I've got a couple of different shapes and sizes. This is my favorite for this. Now I can't take my panel and flip it over to put adhesive on it because, like I said, it's wet. So we'll do it the other way. We'll put some adhesive on my card front just like here. And I'm gonna turn it sideways, I think, to try and get this. I like the look of this white on white layer. I think it's kind of neat that you've got just a little bit of interest from there being a bit of a border, but there not being much taking away from your design with extra layers and things like that. So that it really does keep it a lot more clean and simple. There are a lot of rules for clean and simple cards. What some people think is clean and simple, others would disagree with. Please know that while I make clean and simple cards, there is nothing easy about clean and simple design. I've been card making for 26 years and I've done all sorts of different types of cards. I just really like the look of clean and simple, which is why I go to it. It's not a beginner's style. It is a true form of creativity and artwork. So it's not for everybody, but it's what I enjoy doing. I do other cards as well. As you've seen, I do make cards that are more busy, but I also really like the art and science behind making a true clean and simple card. So that is my card for today for the AAA Cards Challenge featuring circles. This card went together really quickly and easily. It's going to take some time, obviously, to dry, but I love the sparkle that you get with that glimmer paste. And I think that I Hope Your Day Sparkles sentiment is absolutely perfect on there. This is bugging me, this little bit of glitter that I couldn't get off. So let's see if there's something in my stash that would add to this without being too much so that I can cover it up, because it's gonna bug me. So I've got some Studio Katya sparkling crystals in my little tray here, just giving them a play around so they're all flat side down. And let's just see if this is gonna add or subtract from my card. I really want to cover this spot. Oh, that might actually work like that, keeping the three pieces of bling kind of close together. They're clear bling, so they're not overpowering to my design, which is important when you're doing clean and simple. I also think I've got my panel glued on crookedly, but it's too late for that. So it is what it is at this point. We'll add a little bit of glue here underneath each of these baubles. And we're gonna call this card done, keeping it nice and clean and simple. What you didn't see was behind the scenes. I spent some time really figuring out kind of what I wanted to do. I started designing this card probably a good 10 minutes before I started filming. So I kind of had a good idea what I wanted to do. Things changed a little bit as we went along, but just because it went together quickly and easily doesn't mean it was a super quick and easy card, but it certainly wasn't bad. I hope you all enjoy your day and find some time to be crafty.